What's up, hobby friends, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Now, you can probably tell that I sound terrible, but you know what? We're going to get through it. We've been doing this podcast for quite some time, and I just couldn't take missing an episode, so we're going to do what we can to, talk some hobby and go through some fun stuff. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
this episode's going to be worth it. You'll be glad you came,
isn't it?
So I'm going to start with a hot tip, just to keep you on the hook in case you haven't left already.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot tip. Looking around. Okay, this is a real hot tip.
That's good.
There is a use for 3D printing supports. I've actually been using them as basing material, as little doodads. And I'm actually quite happy. So let me walk you through the uses. Now, depending on what slicing software you or your friend who you've stolen their trash from, you may end up with these supports that have this kind of like triangle interlaced pattern that looks like an actual girder from an actual building, which is cool. So I've used a few of those just as some triangles, a little bit of flavor in my bases. But turns out that actually the bottom plate, the bit of plastic that's actually in contact with the printing plate, I actually really like that flat bit. Now I've found two uses for that.
Okay.
Number one, I think it's better than just a flat sheet of polystyrene for random debris because it's a little bit brittle. And so you break it up, and it kind of snaps in interesting jagged patterns.
True. Yeah.
That kind of look like shrapnel or something like that, or weird little bits of metal on the battlefield on a ruined cityscape. So that's good. But also, now this is big brain stuff I've just started doing. But I have started building my models raised up from the base, or at least for the project I've been working on recently.
Right.
Okay, so I put a little bit of spacer in between the foot of the model and the top of the plastic base. Raise them up just a millimeter or two so that when I then go and put some texture paste on the base, it doesn't look like they're just standing ankle deep in texture paste. It looks like they're kind of standing level with the ground.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been working on lizards over here. I've been getting their feet just a little bit up off the surface of the base, filling that in with texture paste, Monument Hobbies texture paste, and then throwing in both the kind of shrapnel bits from these printing supports and also the girder bits of the printing supports, throwing in a few little bits of cork board in there too for that concrete look. And yeah, surprisingly easy bases, and at least it's doing something useful with these 3D printing supports. Right,
because there's a lot of leftover supports. I like to save mine for that, little bits like little pipes poking out, whatever. So I think that's super useful. I also use them when I go to clean out my vat. I'll put a couple of them in there so that when you expose the bottom layer and it creates a sheet, then you just pull that right up using one of the supports instead of having to get in there and dig the thing up.
Clever.
But that also got me thinking when you were saying that the flat sheets like that, you could actually just expose your resin, for a minute or whatever, and then have a nice flat sheet and just break off little chunks. And you got nice little chunks there. It's kind of a cool freebie.
That's actually a better idea. How about that?
How about that? Look at that hot tip right out the gate. Yeah. That's cool, actually. I really I didn't think about that in that the rubble type way. I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Well, it's also important to mention that the models you're putting them on and the game that you're is basically not necessarily line of sight. like height-wise an issue, or is that a problem? Because that's generally where
I'm not worried about
raising
them up by 2 centimeters or 2 millimeters.
Sure, 2 millimeters. Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
If you find yourself playing against somebody who's really upset about that, or is really taking advantage of getting the top of your hairs over some line of sight blocking walls or something.
Well, like I've had that issue in like Kill Team, right? It's like that's kind of the point of it. It's like the cover and the moving around. It's like, but your head is sticking through now, and it's like your entire head because you put the thing on, you know, a 1/4 inch of cork. Like, yeah, okay, that was probably not the best choice.
Yeah, it's definitely less height than a 1/4 inch of cork. I'll tell you that much
for sure. Yeah, a millimeter or two. All right, yeah, I just want to throw that out there. You know, never know.
Yeah. But, I've just been printing lizards and building lizards and basing lizards and painting lizards. And, you pulled me away for just an hour or so to record an episode of Paint Bravely the podcast.
Right. You're itching to get back to painting several thousand points of lizards.
Oh, it's just getting to the good part.
Yeah.
It's just getting to the good part. Yeah.
But what is the good part now that you bring that up? Like, what is your good part of the process? Unless you're just being sarcastic, of course.
Okay, for me, it was getting the different scale colors of these lizards to look good together, because I've got these geckos, the little guys who remind me a little bit of a skink or something like that.
Yeah.
And we've got these big guys, these gators, which remind me a little bit of a croxagore or something like that.
Gator, right? I see how that. Yeah.
Sure. And man, I got this perfect color of teal from Monument Hobbies. It's bright jade.
There you go.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Now they also sell a turquoise, and I was kind of expecting like, oh, I'd like that turquoise. And we've talked a little bit about their jade color, and I know you like Monument Hobbies jade.
I do.
I think it's a cool color, but I haven't found the use for it yet.
Right.
And so I saw the name Bright Jade, a brighter version of a color that I haven't found the place for yet. Yeah. But no, it is the perfect lizard skin color, Bright Jade.
Okay.
It's just a little bit greener than the turquoise is from Monument Hobbies, and is real good. But anyway, you get these turquoise teal looking geckos, and you put them next to some real bright green gators.
Oh yeah.
Tie it all together with some futuristic off-white armor. So I'll tell you, in the next couple of days, I got to figure out what the main saurians are going to be like.
Right.
The middle-sized lizards, the real movers and shakers. I got to figure out what their color is. And I'm thinking of either burgundy or bright blue. And I'm going to try both. But here's the deal. Like I've got my force of geckos painted. I've got a couple of these gators painted. By then I'll have a few more gators painted. And I'm gonna go know really quick when I'm working on these test models, like this fits perfectly or this does not fit perfectly.
Right.
And I'm building this whole lizard ecosystem, and some of it is coming together very nicely. And I'm optimistic for all the other lizards.
I like the real bright blue idea. That sounds like it'd probably work pretty well. Like, especially if you're kind of hitting on the greens over on one side, and then you got your teal in the middle, your bright jade, and then you got your blue on the other side. It's like, okay, I could see where there's a mix in there. Like, maybe when the little geckos grow up, it's like, well, this one's a little bigger, and he's now with the blue guys. And this one, he's in the middle, so he's with the green guys over here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It does make sense to tie it in and at least have them all be cool colors. But then I'm going to come into the situation where I got raptors.
Yeah.
I got a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And, of course, I have a Triceratops.
Right.
And I think maybe those might be better. Like, okay, this one's a burgundy. I think I'm going to end up using a lot of the the lamer greens, we'll call them.
Yeah.
Army green, camo green, forest green, like the lame greens.
Right, right.
Yeah. A little bit of brown tones in there. Just they're dinosaurs. They have colorful scales, but not as colorful as the
right. Some of them are
awesome lizards
more
riding
traditional.
them.
Right, yeah.
Although, just to make fun of the new Jurassic Park movies, I was thinking of like the leader raptor being blue.
There you go. Just to throw it out
And
there.
I'm not sure if that's worth not making the saurians blue just so I can have the blue raptor joke. I don't think I can just have a single lizard being a mount being blue. I think I have to have some other blue.
I feel like if you had a single
somewhere.
one-off blue one, like it would sell that joke better.
Yeah,
certainly.
Just nothing else in the army is that color of blue.
Yeah.
And then there's just like one stupid blue raptor that has the little sergeant on it. Yeah.
Or you could paint it like the same kind of teal or something, and do like because isn't that lizard in that, or the raptor, whatever it is? I don't even know. I've only seen the first one of the new ones. Doesn't it have like blue stripes?
Yeah, I don't even remember what it looks like. It's not important.
No, but the blue,
it's
I
not
get.
important.
I remember the blue. I was like, it's determining, like, oh, that's the good raptor. It won't eat your face off. But
there's that Will Ferrell movie Old School, so you can be like, you're my
Old
boy Blue.
yeah.
You can get that in there.
That's why I named my dog Blue.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
That is 100% true.
That's true. There's a very small little wizard from the Harbinger set of D&D minis from the 2003 release of that game. Little wizard, little 5-point wizard. His name, Blue. So
Blue
there's
wizard.
that.
Right.
If some people are going to get that joke.
Nobody's going to get that joke.
Reference. It's not a joke.
It's not a joke, yeah.
Sometimes references are played off as I think it's funny.
Right. I mean,
matter.
generally, references are supposed to be jokes, right? That's the idea. You say something jokingly, but you're referencing something else. Yep.
Ooh. All right. I gotta get back to my lizards. Casey, you take the podcast. You roll with it.
Let's see how this goes, because yeah. So moving has gone well. I've moved into the space. The space is a horrible mess. I have been trying to get work done this week, like just trying to paint one model. Been working on the big like Gazgul model, which I love that model. And it's October right now. I thought this is the perfect model to do that with. It was sent to me by a friend of ours, Alice from Ataraxia Painting. Pretty cool YouTube channel. Go check that out. She sent me a big box of stuff, like some really nicely painted stuff as like little gifts to have, and then some watermelon candies, and then Gazgul and a bunch of sprues of stuff. She's like, I'm never going to touch any of this stuff, so please don't make me look at it anymore. So there's a Gazgul in there, and I'm like, I fixed him up a little bit, and he was missing some parts, and like I went to start painting him, and man, like having your paints accessible, I don't know how many times I've said it on this podcast even specifically, but having your paints accessible right in front of you is so important to like the process of painting. If they're not in front of you, readily available, you're just not going to get stuff done, because there's no motivation to like try things or grab a color or be like, I wonder if this works or if I mix this together. So I've been having a real hard time with not having any of my studio put together. Like for this podcast that we put up on the YouTube at, Paint Bravely, the podcast, YouTube. Like I have kind of a set behind me, but like it's minimal and it's basically put together for this video. Everything else is in shambles around me. So I'm just having a really hard time, like grabbing colors and doing stuff. I spent like 20 minutes looking for a green, like this one particular bottle of green. And like, I swear I was going crazy. I was like going through boxes and bags, and like, I thought I had like carefully laid everything out when I packed up, but no, that's not the case. I finally found that green, and I spent an entire day and I got like 3 colors on the model, like legitimately. So that's where I'm at hobby wise. I also opened a lot of boxes, you know, looking for paints and other things. And I unfortunately did find quite a few broken models. Yeah.
Your hobby station is a negative value right now.
Oh, it's very negative. Yeah, like no accessibility.
Not conducive.
It's bad. I did manage to get the like rig hung up on the ceiling that I use. I hang lights up above, and I got like mounts for cameras and monitors and all this kind of stuff. So I did do that, and I feel good about that because it's kind of nice. It's like, you know, the familiarity of the room back in. But it's just been hectic, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. I think my suggestion for anybody who is planning on moving their hobby space or trying to take it on the go or do something like that is to pick out a selection of colors and set them aside in some kind of case or box so that you know where they are and at least have access to like the bare minimum of tools. It took me like 5 days to find my paintbrushes. That just shouldn't happen. It was no good. So definitely make a travel pack. Make that a priority if you're gonna move your house. And I know last time I talked about moving, a fair few people had mentioned that they were planning on doing that. So definitely keep that in mind. Yeah. Other than that, though, not a lot of. Okay, well, there's another thing. I ended up buying probably the stupidest model on eBay that you could possibly buy. And there have been a lot of people sending me pictures of this model for the last year or so. It's an Orc Stompa, the big kit, like the Apocalypse kit. On eBay, it's bright green, and it has all these like little tubes sticking out the front that somebody like tried to do with the model. And I ended up emailing the people who are selling it because this thing is like, I've seen it trending on Reddit. I've seen it on YouTube groups, like people going, what the hell is this thing? And I finally took the plunge and I was like, look, dude, nobody's touched this in like more than a year. I'll give you $50. And the dude came back and he's like, $50 American, and we got a deal. And I said, yes. So I'm going to be working on that pretty soon. That's another Orktober special. I don't know what I've gotten myself into technically, but it's going to be a lot of probably cutting plastic bravely and other things bravely. I don't know what it's going to entail yet. Should be interesting. Yeah.
You know, Casey, you and I were looking at eBay last night, and we found a $95 unopened Dominion box.
That's true.
So MSRP $200. I felt pretty good. Like 6 months ago, I snagged one on eBay for $104. Like just kind of to mark that off of like my record for lowest MSRP for a completely new box that a vendor was selling like 500 of them for that price.
For real.
But we found a new low, $95. Now, most vendors, to be fair, are still selling for, you know, around the $110 mark, I'd say. But
yeah, that's true. They're still going for
supply seems to be strong, but
it's very strong.
It looks like at least one person who bought one of the $104 boxes is decided they're never going to do anything with it. They're reselling it for $95 shipped. So
it definitely feels like
that.
I just want to get rid of it. Move, right? Yeah. It's like I got one of these. I don't even care. They probably got it at Adepticon, just like everybody else. Yeah. Although, you know what? I think we did maybe talk about that, but at Adepticon, it was that very short period of time where you could basically buy a box for like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
in the parking lot of Adepticon, because there were crates and crates and crates of the Dominion box that were being given out to all of the VIP swag bag gamers who were there.
Yeah. So that might have been just a once in a lifetime thing, but I do have hopes for the Dominion box. I think we'll get there. I think we'll get to a nice like $90, $85 value there. I think that's where we're going to end up. You know, if the supply is still running like it is.
We got to get Rudy from Alpha Investments on here, and 'cause he He might be the one who's buying up all those boxes back in his storage room.
It's a good point.
I like the idea of, him doing all of the magic card speculation. This is the YouTuber who just has, I mean, a lot of people do the speculation, but he has boxes and boxes and boxes of, 25-year-old sets of magic cards. And he's just playing the market, gaming the system. I like the idea that he secretly also just has stashes of just a minion. That it's funnier that way.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, don't think it hasn't occurred to me. Like, it's not a terrible idea. Like, just wait for it to completely crash. Buy them all up for $70 a pop. Wait 5-6 years when it's like, oh man, I don't know, just don't exist anymore. Then you strike. You sell them back for, you can even put them back up for, $140. It's like, okay, people would buy the crap out of those. Yeah, you could do that.
It's an interesting question. So I've only been to Adepticon once, but the content of the Adepticon swag bag might be a really bad indicator for how that product is doing. So
I hope not.
I don't know. The God tier was the other thing that was really in those Adepticon swag bags.
Yeah.
And we had just come from a different convention, Gamma, and we'd talked to some of the Steamforge Games representatives there, and they were pushing God tier, they were pushing Dark Souls, they had another one that they were talking up.
Bard Song.
And we were like, oh yeah, we'll see if people are going to be into this. And then everyone has free copies of God tier at Adepticon. It's like, this is either a good thing or kind of a really, really bad thing. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, some of the people we were with were pretty stoked about that, and everyone else was like, do you want this? And just gave them away. But then at the same time, yours got stolen, so it's like, I don't know. There's a give and take there.
I guess they wanted it more than I did.
Right, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, just from the outside, it kind of looks like it's not doing well, but honestly, I have no idea. I don't know if people are playing God tier. I know that I haven't really seen it in my local area, which is a pretty big area. I feel like I would have if it was like a big deal, but I don't know. I just don't actually know.
Yeah. My local store owner said that he was able to, sell a few copies for a couple of weeks, and then some folks were playing for a couple of weeks, and then it stopped, which I think is a very common cycle for the vast majority of games. But
yeah.
And it depends on the local area. But
sure. I mean, definitely does depend. That's a good one to ask people. Like, if you listening or watching this podcast actually play God tier or into that, or if there is a scene going on, it'd be cool to know. Just leave that.
Some cool minis in there.
Yeah, there are
cool minis. I've seen a few. I've seen some good paint jobs. Yeah. The only thing is, we were talking about this a little bit, and I don't know what we're going to title this episode, but we were talking about Steamforge Games and the way that they killed Guild Ball for basically no reason and with no warning. And so it makes me much more hesitant to get into another little team-based game like what you call it, God tier.
God tier, yeah. No, I feel exactly the same way, right? It's like there's trust in, like, there's supposed to be support for this thing, and it's like, well, there's different teams and different things you can do, and like, we're gonna put out more content for it, and it's like, okay, cool, I can get into that. I want to collect miniatures and teams and build my stuff. But like, if it's just out of nowhere, out of left field, like, we're gonna just stop making this. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen to a game. It's like, once in a great while, does a community rally together enough to like keep a game alive? I mean, even for Games Workshop games, that's like, there's only been a few like that.
Yeah,
it's every other game that they've had that they're like, oh, we're gonna have this and whatever, and they kill, just dies immediately.
I mean, Guild Ball, it seemed like they could have just sold the starter set in the stores. Like, they could have like pared down the product line by a lot and not had really any more releases, but just continue to make at least a starter set and like two expansions or something like that.
Right.
Have something to keep on the store shelves and be like, yeah, this is, I don't know, when they acknowledge it, they'd be like, yeah, this isn't the focus of the company right now, but we're still, you know, excited about this game, and we've just pretend like they have plans for the future, you know?
I mean, at least that keeps the hope alive, right?
Yeah, that keeps the hope alive, and that keeps the, you know, that allows stores to sell out of the rest of the product that they have in stock, and
right, and
it keeps people playing. Yeah, it keeps people playing. We were checking eBay, and there are a lot of Guild Ball figures on eBay. If you wanted to do a rescue of that, you could, but
I might.
I don't know if anyone would want to watch that video.
I mean, that's the other thing. Yeah, right. A game dies like that, and what's like anybody's incentive to make content for that game, right? Like, that sucks. Yeah. Because
if the really company don't care, then
yeah, and that's just kind of a bummer. And I mean, I've never played Guild Ball. I've bought a couple of figures, but like, I've heard it was awesome. Like, just an awesome game. And it sucks because it is a weird thing that like tabletop gamers go through. And now, obviously not everybody's like this. I think I'm guilty of this, but if a game gets killed or a new edition comes out, like, I straight up just like, oh, I guess the old one doesn't exist anymore. And it's a weird mentality because it makes no sense. I mean, like, if I go to play a game of Warhammer, I'm going to use whatever the basic rule set is and whatever I've got laying around, because I'm not going to go spend a couple $100 to like just play the newest version for some reason, unless I'm getting into that, right? But I'm not like purposely going, I want to play like 3rd edition 40K. That's what I'm going to do. Like, it just doesn't even enter my mind. Not many people do. Yeah.
Not many people do.
So it's a strange life cycle of games. And like, I feel like Guild Ball was kind of like that. It's like, well, we're just not doing it. And people are like, guess it's time to stop playing. And it's like, that doesn't really make sense, but you know, that's the way a lot of us are.
Yeah. I just think it would have been smarter to do the fade away instead of the hard cut.
Right.
And Guild Ball just, one day people woke up to the news of like, hey, we're not doing this anymore. I don't know. People figured out how to win the game too easily. And so that's it. We're done packing it up.
I feel like a couple of numbers changes would have fixed that, but you know, whatever.
They printed the cards. The cards are out there.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't really think about the cards.
No, that's not fair.
No.
Just a ban list for competitive events for the people who are really hyped about competitive Guild Ball. But for everybody else who owns the models, it's just like, well, put these a little farther back in the closet now.
Right, yeah. I am that guy sometimes where, you know, I don't play competitively, but like, I'm going to bring the most competitive thing to a casual game that I possibly can. Because it's, I don't know, there's just there's a satisfaction to that. Like, I still figured this out, and it's still really good.
That's part of the game. Reading the rule book, you're like, oh, this guy really pushes people over. I'm gonna take the big guy. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm thinking of like Magic: The Gathering mostly from that perspective. Like trying to build the like meanest deck you can. Like, doesn't even matter. It's like, sorry, you lost already. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know what game I've actually been playing recently? Gloomhaven.
Mm.
So, Epic Games, I guess it's a competitor to Steam that I had an account that I hadn't logged into for 10 years, but I was able to crack the code and log in and get my free copy of Gloomhaven because Epic was giving that out for a solid week, a week or two ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And a couple of my high school friends started playing, and we've gotten 3 sessions in so far, and yeah, I like it. It's essentially the computerized version of the board game, and the computer arbitrates a lot of the rules for us, which helps me out. But it has taught me how to play this game, and we're having fun playing it. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to go out and buy the whatever $200 big box Gloomhaven, but if I pass it in a store, I'm going to look at it.
Yeah.
And there's a percentage chance it's going to happen. We'll see.
Oh, man. I picked up Gloomhaven a couple years ago, the physical copy of it. And
how are the minis?
The minis actually aren't the worst. They're not terrible. And I did paint a few of them because I had this whole idea of like, well, I've got a pool table. Just going to bring that back up. I got friends and I want to play a big like dungeon crawler, right? So I painted up 4 models. I got it all ready. I got everything going. And like it was pretty cool. Like having the just humongous amount of crap on a table, like isn't the worst way to play a game. Now, like I did have to figure out how to play that game and then like teach a bunch of other people, and it mostly went okay. Like it was fun for the couple of sessions that we sat down and did it for. But that's all we got in. We got in like 2 sessions because it is such a pain to get everything out every single time. Yeah. And when I saw that there was a PC version, I did opt in for the like early access on Steam. So I've had it for a while. But then they're like, oh, this is actually the board game. So if you want to play the board game, don't play this because there's spoilers, like obviously. So like I literally haven't done anything in that game since because they put that out there. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't know why. But I think
maybe me and my pals will invite you one of these days. But no, it was good. I think we're getting the experience of hanging out and playing this. This last time we played, one of my friends is getting over COVID. The other one
Right.
lives 2 or 3 states away. And yeah, it's just good to be able to get together for like an hour. And, I mean, I'm not particularly busy outside of these lizards, but
Right.
my friends are busy and important people, so they don't have a ton of time for Gloomhaven. Certainly not going to drive from Connecticut up to play Gloomhaven. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like if he started driving, you could set the game up just about before he got there.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Could be worth it. Yeah. No, that is something that's pretty cool. Having that digital version, being able to reach other people to play a game that like a lot of people really like, I think is pretty fantastic. And besides the not getting to paint the models part, which is either positive or negative depending on who you are, it's a good way to go.
I play the Scoundrel. I'm sure I can find a 3D print of the Scoundrel.
Oh, I'm sure you probably can. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find the individual models on eBay for like a couple of bucks. They're
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think they're that expensive. Last time I checked.
Okay, maybe I'll do that then.
Yeah.
It's a pretty generic character, the Scoundrel. It's just like a rogue, but
pretty much, yeah. Although I think that model, I did paint that model. It has some like little unique features on it, little goggles and some other stuff. Yeah, overall the models weren't too bad. I was surprised for sure. It was one of the first actual games that I picked up where it was like there was the intention of painting along with playing a game. I mean, I've had other board games that have minis and stuff, but they've never been worth painting, right? And since then, I have gotten a few more games that I bought for the models. And like, unfortunately, I've just been super disappointed in most of them. Like I bought into Dark Souls pretty hard from Steamforged, mostly because I really like Dark Souls. Just been a thing for me for a long time. And I was just kind of disappointed. Like they're real flimsy, like PVC, and like I just don't find it super worth it. I don't know. I spent a lot of money on it too, and like they finally showed up, and I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And of course, I bought into the Horizon Zero Dawn board game, like all in. Also slightly disappointed.
What you got to do is just get really into lizards.
That's probably
really into lizards.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a film crew showed up at my place to film me painting lizards.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a day where there were just 3 other people in this room and just tons of lights. They made me turn off all my lights because my lights aren't good enough. And they had all their crazy lights and then a lot of like black cloth to block off the extra light. Mm-hmm. They're very particular about the light. And they had all these cinema cameras pointed at me and like super close ups of me painting lizards and stuff, and it seemed kind of weird. And then they had me go outside because they wanted to get like a nature shot of me walking around outside.
Yeah. You gotta set the tone, right?
Yeah, and then a tick bit me, and I think I got Lyme disease. But I got the antibiotics, and then the rash started to shrink back down again.
Oh,
so
jeez.
I feel fine. I feel fine.
I hope so, man. Jeez.
But hey, if it's my time, then I want to know that I went out doing a documentary for miniature painting. That is Lyme disease while filming B-roll for a documentary about mini painting.
Oh my god, that's so messed up.
Hey, when our number comes, man, it's want to be doing something you love.
Yeah, being outdoors
for
B-roll. Yeah. That's insane.
Because at first I was like, oh man, I got a tick yesterday. Look at this guy. I pulled him off. He was like, I mean, he was buried deep. I pulled everything but his head off. His head is a part of me now. But I pull him off. He's like, oh, this is a big sucker. Like, this is probably too big to be a deer tick. He's probably not going to give me Lyme disease. And then, like, the next day, the bite had turned into, like, a bigger ring.
Oh, my God.
Like, probably should get some antibiotics
time to
for
go
this.
to the hospital. And, yeah. Well,
I went to the CVS. I bought some sun chips, some gummy worms, and some antibiotics. And I feel much better. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Much better.
Like, when you're like, possible horrible life-threatening disease, I definitely got to pick me up some of those sun chips though. They told me it was 15-minute wait. I swear they only do that so they sell you Dr. Pepper Zero and sun chips.
It was a 15-minute wait. I was like, what? Oh, like, we're gonna work on your order next. It's 2 pills of antibiotics.
Right.
Like, come on, like, I'm right here right now. Can you not just go? It'll be about 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
Well, I'm telling you. But so I sat in the parking lot and I ate gummy bears, and 15 minutes later I went back in and he got my antibiotics, and it was a surprisingly good experience. Like, I'm lucky enough that I don't have to go to the pharmacy very often, so I have no idea what anything is going to cost. It's just a complete mystery box. But
no, that's pretty much everybody.
Like,
every time you go, regardless of how often you go.
Right. And I'm on the like bronze minus health plan, so there's no assistance coming from that quarter. And but anyway, it came out to just $2 for 2 antibiotic pills, which is what it should cost. That sounded right to me. It's like, all right, that's cheaper than any of the over-the-counter drugs you sell here. Mm-hmm. Cheaper than any of the gummy bears you sell here. So yeah, cool.
Yeah,
but it's been about a week now. I don't think I have Lyme disease anymore. So yeah, it's good.
I'm pretty sure Lyme disease is like, if you have it, you have it.
If you don't catch it early, like you get
it's one of those, like rabies.
I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know.
Not a medical doctor. That's true.
But yeah, I had a call with the health person. I'm fine. Unless you don't hear from me 2 weeks from now on Paint Bravely the podcast, you can assume I've made a full and complete recovery.
Yeah, if anything, it's not because of your video schedule, because if we go by that, like, you definitely have Lyme disease. Like, this podcast is the only indication that you are still alive.
Which is good. Which is
yeah.
good.
I'm glad that you're doing good though. That's good. I hope you don't have Lyme disease. So,
Because every once in a while, somebody does email me like, "Hey, I hope you're okay." And I respond, if I have time to respond, it's like, "Oh, I'm okay. Check out Paint Bravely the podcast. That'll be a little proof of life.
That's a good way to point them into. Yeah, that's a good call.
But now I can be like, look, I thought I had Lyme disease. I don't think I do anymore. I'm mostly okay, but I assure you, I'm working on videos 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, but these lizards, man, they take a while. They take a while. I keep changing my mind about the lizard colors. And you'll be getting a lot of lizard content at some point in the future, so buckle up.
Yeah.
Hope you like lizards.
To lizards, though, I do think a nice bright orange would be perfect.
Well,
you got a test model of a bright orange in there?
So here's the thing. They have energy shields, and so I got this bright jade skin, and the energy shield is kind of a red to orange transition.
Okay, I'm with you. Nice.
So I definitely have a I've got some orange content in here.
Very good.
Yeah,
that's very good.
But we will consider future orange applications because we've got a lot of raptors to paint. So yeah.
I like that. That's good. Okay. Well, see, that's perfect.
Do you want to tell everybody about Peachy?
I might as well. So if you haven't seen the video, I don't remember what the channel's called.
Hold on, I got this written down.
Peachy's channel.
Do you want to tell everybody about Peachy being the new painting presenter on the Painting Phase YouTube channel?
Yeah. So the Painting Phase YouTube channel has acquired the legendary Chris Peach from Games Workshop. He quit that place or some such and is
poached.
Now, who knows? I mean, that'd be nice. Honestly, for him, that'd be nice. Like, we're just going to offer you a triple. Come paint for us. Like, yes, sir, I will do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's going to be like the presenter on that channel. And I think that's really cool. Chris is a super awesome dude and a pretty good painter. And I think there's going to be a lot of cool content coming from that channel. Right now, last time I checked, they only had 8,000 subs, something around there.
Let's kick that up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's more than Paint Bravely the podcast, but every little bit helps. You know what I'm saying? So go check out the Painting Phase with the two guys that were there before, and now Peachy.
Were there other guys?
I need to watch more of their videos.
Yeah,
I honestly hadn't heard of the channel before, but the video quality looks very good. The blokes seem like nice lads. And
Yeah. But I think it's pretty exciting. It's cool to see. We're hoping for some good mini painting content over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duncan and Raj got out of there and started their own thing. Peachy's got out of there.
Yeah. Rob got out of there. Yeah.
Rob got out of there. Yeah, he's got his own thing.
Yeah. Anybody else get out of there? Other people have to have gotten out of there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you go back farther, most of the other game companies have people that used to work there. Yeah.
Right,
but as long as we're talking about just on-air personalities.
Like recent, yeah. Those are the ones for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Darren Latham tried to get out of there, and then they killed his YouTube channel, so...
I think he was trying to help, and they're like, we don't want you to help. I was like, oh, okay. It's fine.
So... But he's proved that he can make a YouTube channel if the day ever comes.
That is true. Yeah. And that it would work, and that an iPhone is perfectly acceptable as a mode of filming a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which
but Peachy's got drone shots.
That's true.
Peachy's got lighting and good cameras and people who know how to use those cameras. And he's got a drone and he's got a motorcycle, and you can go check out the entire trailer video over at the Painting Phase.
Yeah, which I guess we just spoiled the end of. Sorry.
That's the beginning. It's a 2-minute long video. There's a motorcycle at minute 1.
I didn't know that Peachy drove a motorcycle.
The spoiler is that it's Peachy. The spoiler is who is in the video. Yeah.
Did they say that at the beginning? They just said we have a new presenter. It's not
right. The title of the video is Our New Painting Presenter, and the entire video, like the first 3/4 of the video, is a man wearing a motorcycle helmet.
I know.
You're like, oh, who's this cool guy in the leather
spoilers.
with the Kawasaki?
Yeah.
Who is this cool guy?
So
just loaded up with paint pots and he's drinking tea, and who is this cool guy? And it's Peachy, but everybody has spoiled the ending, and there was never any doubt.
Never any doubt. Like, I knew it was him before because I was told it was him.
As soon as you saw that
before.
Kawasaki motorcycle,
I just knew that
sweet
Peachy was a
hog,
Kawasaki
you knew,
guy.
That's Peachy. Yeah. There's only one man I know.
Right.
Yeah.
With that little luggage rack bag on the back of it.
It just filled with magnetized miniatures. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was filled with.
We're sorry we spoiled that one for you.
I was sorry. You didn't seem to be until now.
I forgot that with the entire...
That's like the entire point of the video. Yeah.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Matt, remember to cut the last 10 minutes. We'll redo this.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
The YouTube channel, The Painting Phase, has a new painting presenter.
I guess there's nothing else
I think all of you
to
really
say.
should go check it out. You're going to
have a peach of a
peachily
time.
surprised when you see who it is.
Yeah, that's a real thing. A Kawasaki guy up in there, yeah. Those drone shots, though.
Here's a hint. Here's a hint. He drives a Kawasaki.
Yeah. Who don't know who that is? Not even a little bit. Oh, man.
Oh.
God, I feel like I'm dying. You know what's sad is we actually tried to record this episode like earlier this week, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm sick. That was a terrible decision. I felt way better then. Oh, man.
Oh.
Army painter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Bring us in.
All right. So the Army Painter is a company that's been around. I think they just hit their like 15th year anniversary for their main paint line. Everybody knows who they are. They're in like every store, which is awesome for them. You know, they are the paint that people go to kind of first and as an entry level thing. They have recently come out with a pretty interesting video talking about the fact that they as a company and as people in the company want to do a better job, and they want to listen to their audience and actually make changes that are meaningful, like improving their paints and doing things that we as customers and people that use their products want to actually see. That's not normal for the space, and I think we wanted to commend them for reaching 100%. Out like that. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. So it was a short little video and had a couple of things in it. One, it had shots of their factory, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed bottles of, I think it was camo green or army green, getting the labels put on, which we all know is one of the worst colors in the line. But no, like Army Painter is the brand that's available at my local mall.
Yeah.
It is the brand that a lot of new painters are going to start with. And it has some serious weaknesses, especially in their flagship line of war paints.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are pretty decent. A lot of them are not. And you have to really shake the heck out of them to find out which kind you have.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to shake them a lot.
So the video was cool because they did include snippets of John Nennis when he was a guest on Mini-X channel,
Mm-hmm.
like saying that he didn't really like the Army Painter paints. They had a shot of, I think, Lucas on Squidmar channel saying that he didn't really like the Army Painter paints. They had a shot of Luke at Geek Gaming just shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking. Yeah, I don't even think he said anything.
And it was Benji from Benji's Hobbies.
Yeah. And so the company Army Painter on their official YouTube channel put out a video where they said, like, we see this criticism. we hear this criticism, and they're saying we are going to take some steps to try to make our products better. And as one example, they're like, look, we put mixing balls into all of our paints now. That's something that they've implemented in the last year. And that's a start.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can keep going with other stuff. I mean, that's a start.
Yeah, because I mean,
some of those paints, even when they're well mixed, are not great.
That's very true. Well, the whole like medium trick where you like pour some of it out or something and then mix it is supposed to help. I don't know. There's a bunch of tricks people have come up with to like make it better, right?
Right. And a lot of them still are not good though.
Right. Yeah.
And it's buried deep in one of my older videos, but it was when I was making the deodorant orc speeder. There was one point where I was trying to put green onto something, and my brush was just acting like a snow plow. Like I was moving the brush through a glob of paint, and it was just pushing the paint to either side of the brush. It's just like, what am I even doing here?
It's not painting anything. Yeah, there's like the stick on that. It's just not working. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, because the fact that they've been able to get into as many stores as they have and be as readily available, like no matter where I go in the town that I live in, which has like 5 pretty good hobby shops, all of them have Army Painter, in one way or another. Like either a full rack, most of them have a full rack, or, some of them will have like, oh, we carry the other products, right? Like the tufts and the tools and the whatevers, the brushes. But everybody has Army Painter stuff. And I mean, if it's like that where I'm at, I know it's like that pretty much everywhere. So if they had paint that was even just, right up there with some of the other ones, it doesn't even have to be like the top level, top tier stuff, right? If it was just like mostly good, like I think they could rule the world, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
They're better than craft paint, but they're not as good as a lot of the other brands out there. But if they take some serious steps to try to close that gap, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. So, the Army Painter has a YouTube channel with like 30,000 subscribers. They've had the channel for a while. They do all their product announcements on there and stuff. And this video very quickly became their most viewed video. It's got well over 100,000 views now. And a lot of the feedback was very, very positive. Like, that's awesome that you're listening. That's awesome that you're willing to show bad reviews, like share bad reviews of your product and acknowledge their existence and hopefully take steps to make that better. And so there's a lot of very positive stuff on there. Of course, there were a lot of people being like, good because your paints are crap, or like I threw all my Army Painter stuff away. Like there was also a lot of harsh responses. You hear me? Hear this? Like
right, yeah. But that's comment sections, right?
I mean, that's comment sections, and they were definitely asking for it. But hey, one of the common comments on there was, You put up a YouTube video and you allowed an open comment section, and that is better than some companies do.
That is very true.
But actually my favorite comment that I saw a couple of times, I saw 2 different people complaining about the Army Painter tape measurer.
What?
I saw 2 different people say that the Army Painter tape measurer is garbage and it broke on them. And so I have a couple of things to say about this.
Okay, this is deep. This is hard hitting. I didn't know there was such controversy around this tape measure.
One, I mean, it seems like there's some consensus here. Don't buy an Army Painter tape measurer. But also, to the people who did buy an Army Painter tape measurer, what are you doing?
You do have to wonder.
What are you doing? I mean, okay, a little bit of an upsell, like sure, if they're buying all their tufts and they're buying everything else, like Army Painter might as well have the other thing at the counter, like, sure, I'll buy a tape measure. It is
definitely one of those, like at the counter, like last minute, oh, I need to grab this, or I forgot mine at home. Let me pick this one up. Support
okay, there you go. That's
FLGS.
probably the most common. That's the most common.
Right.
At a convention, there's a little booth that has Army Painter stuff, and one of the things they have is a tape measure. That's the only time.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. A couple years ago, I went to LVO, and I forgot to bring paintbrushes. And, like, you know, I was going to classes, and I would, like, me and editor Matt were signed up for just, like, the hanging out in the painting room and doing stuff in there. So, like, we went to the Army Painter booth and just bought some brushes. So I could see how that is, like, the idea with some of those products. But, like, on a normal day, just a normal.
Okay,
like, for
yeah,
you to make a
you go to the game
something,
store to play some games. You have forgotten your tape measure. You pick one up at the store. Okay, I guess I see that. That makes sense. But in any other situation, like, if that is the context under which you bought this product, you bought it because you did not have a thing. Like, it is the same context as you forgot to pack a lunch, so you bought a couple of candy bars while you were at the store.
You bought a crappy lunch.
You're filling a gap here.
Yes, exactly. Right, it's not a premium.
But if it gets to the point where you're leaving online reviews for a tape measurer, you gotta just take a step back and what am I doing right now? What are you doing right now?
That's a fair point.
I was hoping to get a high quality tape measurer, and for anyone interested in shopping around for the best tape measurer, do not buy Army Painter tape measurer.
100%, don't do it.
What are you doing? This is a solved problem. You go to the hardware store, you buy 5 tape measurers, and you put them all over the place, in your game bag, in your dice bag. You put one in your desk, in your painting desk. You put one in your car, like in the center console, maybe in the glove compartment.
Sure.
It's kind of like nail clippers. You just want those everywhere so that when you need it,
it's
there.
The accessibility factor of a tape measure. I mean, because I can't tell you how many times I've looked for a tape measure and been like, I just can't find one. Yeah. In fact,
so for a lot of reasons, both very good reasons and very stupid reasons, do not buy an Army Painter tape measure. Go to the hardware store so that you have one when you need it.
Yeah.
That's so beefy. You are going to break so many models, Casey.
This is a 25-foot Stanley.
Nah, you want a 10-footer.
Oh, I know. I don't roll that way. But that's the accessibility factor. It's just had it right behind me. To be fair, I've been doing actual work in this room, constructing and measuring. So that's why I have that.
There are lots of good reasons to own a tape measure. And that reminds me of the video I did where it's like, hey, I found a table in the trash and I fixed it up, and it was really cheap to fix it up, and people were leaving comments like, yeah, you didn't include the cost of your screwdriver in this build video. It's like, if you do not own a screwdriver, you are not ready to own a table. If you do not own a screwdriver, you are not yet mature enough to own a table.
I can't believe I forgot about this. Speaking of tables.
Ooh.
So I've had this desk, like a nice, pretty, like, good, solid computer desk for a long time. I painted at this desk. It was the desk that I started the channel with. It was the desk I had in the giant walk-in closet. And I went to go move it to my new space. And I go to lift it up onto the trailer. And literally the entire thing falls apart in my hands. And the top of the desk crashes down on my foot. And I thought I broke my toe. No joke. It was like black and like super bruised around the joint. Hurt horribly. But my desk is ruined. It's ruined. And my foot hurts.
Was it particle board or what?
Yeah, it was like not a super expensive desk or anything. And go figure, right? But I mean, I've had it for a while and it's been nice. And now I don't have it. So I have the top. Like, the top's still in good shape. And it's the like real piece of wood. The rest was garbage. Okay. So I'm going to be making a new desk out of that desk.
This is exciting.
I know. I feel excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. It'll be like my painting desk. But I'm going to make it something nice. So I don't know. Like, I'm going to have to like get some legs and some other stuff. I don't know yet. But I almost forgot to tell you that story. Yeah.
Well, that's the best thing I've heard all day. That's great. I mean, not your toe, but I'm excited about your new desk.
Dude, that was like day 1, minute 5 of moving, too. It's like, crush the toe. Guess what you're doing for the next, like, 3 days, right? Like, continually moving boxes and crap to another. Yeah, okay, that was terrible. It sucked, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am excited to see your new painting setup, though. Okay?
Yeah.
Mine has kind of reached a steady state here, except for that new paint rack we talked about last month. But
yeah. It was a good upgrade.
Other than that, it was a good upgrade.
Well, I am happy to report that I did put a short video about it. It's like a 6-minute long video about moving and everything. And a lot of people asking like where I want my hobby score to be. I'm very proud of that. It's great. I like to see the effort being, people asking about it. It's good. I don't know where I want my number to be. Probably like a good solid 8, because I think I lost some stuff. Like I don't have a bathroom in here like I did in my other place, which means I don't have running water. But I have a mini fridge and a lot more space. So that's like, I don't know where I'm at. Right now it's like a 1. I have to
call a plumber or get yourself a utility sink in there.
Yeah.
You have to call a plumber. Yeah.
Well, I'll just punch a hole through the wall and put a hose in. Then put another hose out the drain, out. Right?
Right.
That works.
That's good too.
Yeah.
Well, I am excited to see where you end up with, and I wish you the best of luck in finding your greens and all the other colors of your rainbow in those boxes.
I do appreciate that. And I am very excited to see the colorful lizard army and where it goes. Oh, and the places it will
I appreciate that, man. I got bright jade, bright green, and maybe bright blue for the Saurian Temple Guard.
I do like that, like the real magic blue. Yeah.
Ooh, magic blue.
Magic blue. That's that magic blue. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Well, on that note.
Yeah. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. And as always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
We appreciate you. Talk to you next time.